ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पत आनशृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती धीनामवित्रियवतु वाग्देव्यै नमः। ॐ मातृदेवो भव पितृदेवो भव आचार्यदेवो भव अतिथिदेवो भव। ॐ नमो श्रीशंकर भगवत्पादजगद्गुरुवे नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते रामानुजायै नमः। ॐ अभ्रमं भङ्गरहितं अजडं विमलं सदा आनन्दतीर्थम् अतुलं भजे तापत्रयापहं वादिराजगुरून् वन्दे हयग्रीवपदाश्रयान्। वादिराजकेसरिणे नमः। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनवे। हरिः ॐ। ॐ व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे। ॐ नमो वेदव्यास भगवाने नमः। हरिः ॐ। Dear friends, we have been discussing Upanishads, Atma, Paramatma, our philosophy, Hindu philosophy, Trimatacharyas, etc. For a change, let us know, let's find out, let us discuss something new. Today, let us know for totally a change, something about a great philanthropist, national poet of England, a great playwright and poet, a dramatist rather. By this time you might have got the idea of what I want to speak of, about whom I want to speak. It is William Shakespeare. Shakespeare was born in April 1564. His date of birth was not exactly known. Only the date on which he was baptized is available in the history. He attained eternity in 1616. He lived for 52 years. He was a great playwright, poet, actor himself. In fact, he was a part owner of a drama company, a stage, Chamberlain's Men, Afterwards, it was popularly known as Kingsman. He wrote 37 plays, 154 sonnets, and 3 big poems. He was known as the best literary philosopher of his times. He was a contemporary of Ben Jonson, another famous poet. Shakespearean plays were divided into 3 types or 4 types: histories, comedies, tragedies, tragicomedies. The special feature of Shakespeare is his language is something like a flow of R.W. Emerson. It is a Brooks. It runs very smoothly. And he was the best in playing with the English grammar. Almost his English was a logical magic jugglery of words. Many of the people do not know. He has introduced of about 1,700 new words, and some of the words got popularized because he has used them in his place. So words like philanthropy, protagonist, generation, hallucination, even simple words like bedroom, gossip, these were all the words introduced by him. And his sentences were so appropriate to the situations in the place, and they were not to be either compared or interpreted in terms of any other things. For example, in Julius Caesar, Mark Antony says, in fact, Caesar doesn't say, Mark Antony says that when Brutus stabbed Caesar, Caesar said, with a great agony, "You too, Brutus, this is the most unkindest cut of all." This is the only sentence in English where 2 superlative degrees were used in the same sentence. So it was keeping in view the circumstances and the shocking condition in which Caesar was when he got deceived and stabbed by Brutus. Caesar had said those words. And his literature carries so many valuable sentences which are wonderful in meaning. In fact, they are all lessons. For example, all glitters is not gold. Ambition should be made of sterner stuff. Sweet are the uses of adversity. All the world is a stage, and all the men and women are all actors. Life is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Love all, trust a few, do wrong to none. Give every man thy ear, but few thy voice. There is nothing either good or bad, but thinking makes it so. A friend is one that knows you as you are, understands where you have been, accepts what you have become, and still gently allows you to grow. The meaning of life is to find out your gift, but the purpose of life is to give it to the others. Like this, every sentence almost is a lesson. There are several sentences, and the characters introduced by William Shakespeare they remain eternal, not because of the place or because they are created by Shakespeare. They are eternal because you find them in the society. You will come across these characters everywhere, even today. The best example probably in his place, if I am asked to name, I don't hesitate to say it is Merchant of Venice. In fact, really, I doubt very much why, I'm not able to understand rather, why the Shakespearean drama were not made movies. Maybe there may be a few, but I don't think except the Cleopatra, which came in 1960, I suppose, where Marilyn Monroe played the role of Cleopatra. Rex Harrison played Julius Caesar, and I'm sure Mark Antony was played by, I'm not sure in fact, Mark Antony was played by Marlon Brando or Richard Burton. That's the only play I have seen, Hollywood movie. It came in 1960s and it was a wonderful movie, of course. And if we find Shakespearean characters everywhere, anywhere, everywhere, at every part of the world. In fact, Shakespeare is the only playwright or dramatist whose plays are translated into all living languages exist today. Every language. And in fact, Shakespearean characters are not individuals. They are traits. You find a combination of all this in human beings. As I said, if any movie, cinema, what do we call it? If we take, the base will be only Shakespearean play. Particularly, without hesitation, I can say it's a play like Merchant of Venice, where you find action, emotion, drama, entertainment, arguments, sacrifice, everything. Because one play that is flawless in Shakespearean plays, of course it's my favorite play, that's also a reason why I choose it, is The Merchant of Venice. In fact, even though we can find the characters like Antonio, Bassanio, Portia, Jessica, Lorenzo, Gratiano, Shylock, Prince of Aragon, Prince of Morocco, all these characters we find everywhere in fact. And another special feature in Shakespearean plays is, I don't want to discuss much about what are the plays, what was the plots, what was the existing conditions, how many tragedies, how many comedies, how many tragicomedies. These are all, of course, it all goes to the literature. I am speaking of only the Shakespeare and the greatness of his literature. And his literature is being studied even today. Studied and reinterpreted. A lot of research is going on still. And 4 of his plays were named as great tragedies. They are Macbeth, Hamlet, King Lear, Othello. In fact, some of the people, they consider Romeo and Juliet also, but popularly known great tragedies are only these 4. The common factor that underlies all these tragedies is a tragic flaw. The tragic flaw in Macbeth is ambition. Ambition of Macbeth to become the ruler or king. Hamlet is hesitation. He knows right from the beginning who the culprit is, but he hesitates to make a decision. Ultimately, that leads to his tragic end. Othello, suspicion. Othello's wife Desdemona is a very beautiful lady. And Othello is a great personality, but he is an ugly man. So suspicion that makes him, and ultimately he kills his wife with the suspicion. That's the tragedy. And King Lear, it is the frustration. So the 4 flaws underlying these 4 great tragedies are ambition, suspicion, hesitation, and frustration. And particularly in Othello, the character of villain is played by Iago. And a lot of research is carried on Iago's character. And Iago is termed as the master of villains. He runs the entire drama with the help of a handkerchief to create the suspicion in the brain of Othello. That is, they are all to be entertained. That is to be studied. They are to be enjoyed. They are to be seen. They are to be experienced. That is the greatness of Shakespeare. Another strange feature of Shakespeare is his soliloquy. Soliloquy means a man talking to himself. All Shakespearean characters, they speak to themselves. Sometimes we feel that whenever we observe the play, it's something like a mono action. A man coming and talking to himself before us. But it's a wonderful feature. Almost every play carries it. And nobody has criticized. He was beyond criticism. Except Oliver Goldsmith. Oliver Goldsmith is the only person who commented on soliloquy. He commented, here comes the idiot who tells all his secrets to the unasked audience. This is the comment he made on soliloquy of Shakespeare. Because the character comes and tells openly, tells the audience. He doesn't tell. In fact, while playing itself, talking to himself on the screen, he tells what he's going to do, what his plans are, how he's going to execute. But the fact is, soliloquy is true. Though it was in 16th century, he has depicted in plays, on stage. When we observe the people, knowingly or unknowingly, we all talk to ourselves. In fact, you can notice it. If you observe the people, many people, all the people,